hit on something which may be an effective argument against President Trump, former President Trump, at least in terms of framing where things are. After the Supreme Court decision expanding presidential immunity, what President Biden actually said is you have to be extra careful now about electing Donald Trump because there are no guardrails. Isn't there an audience for that?
Oh, absolutely. But I think it also kind of falls on deaf ears a little bit when you have President Biden out there saying that the Supreme Court can't stop me when I do stuff, with regard to the student loan debt repayment. But look, I think in terms of Democrats in the House and the Senate or down ballot races, I think they should be probably embracing this a little bit in their own campaigns in saying, look, we are the only stopgap to prevent President Trump, if he wins, if he beats Joe Biden, we're the only thing stopping him from doing everything he wants to do to the detriment of the U.S. Not that I agree with that, but that would be the better play, I think, for Democrats as opposed to going and attacking and trying to replace the nominee because, sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side, and who knows who would take Biden's place.
I can tell you that is an argument that's being made by members of Congress running. They may be doing both at the same time, but many of them are saying it makes it all the more important now, they say, that we elect a Democratic Congress to serve as a bulwark against President Trump. You think that's effective?
I think that's more effective than actually going on the news and putting out statements saying that Biden needs to step down. I think the reality is, at the end of the day, if Biden stays in the race, 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, the base is going to come home to Biden just like the base is going to come home to Trump. And so you're really targeting that 10 to 15% of the swing voters who were with Biden last time and would come back to Trump. But Biden really has, he has no more rope to give. If he makes another gaffe, if he has another episode like he did in the debate, he's pretty much done, and the Democrats are going to suffer.
Is there any be careful what you wish for if you're a Republican? Would it be harder for Donald Trump to beat another candidate, or do you like the disorder if you're a Republican?
Absolutely. I think you like the disorder. I mean, we've been through this before. We were through this in October of 2016, so...